With SIPE, we are going to demonstrate to the country that our niche, which is the county chapters, it would be now a reality because we'll have mentors in court to support the growth of other chamber chapters. Ben Kragu, kindly.
Essentially, like Patrick says, this has been a journey. And a journey always begins with a step. And we've made some significant good steps with Kenya Chamber. But for those of you who may not know about SIPE, SIPE is a US-based NGO, non-profit organization. And SIPE essentially exists to strengthen democracy around the world. And we do that through private enterprise and market-oriented reform. And to do that, we work through associations such as Kenya Chamber of Commerce. We are affiliated to American Chamber of Commerce, and that is a good thing. Now, it's been said that when you look at a chain, the chain is as strong as its weakest link. And for those of us who have worked with Chamber, one of the Chamber's strengths is its national representation. No association in Kenya can claim to have such a footprint as good as Kenya Chamber. However, the weakest link of the Chamber has been its county chambers. So we have grappled with the issue of how do we assist the county chamber strengthen its county chambers. And we know because there are many, we asked ourselves as SIPE, how do we do that? And that's how we come across the idea of setting up centers of excellence. And essentially, what's a center of excellence? It's really a model of how an ideal chamber should run, or an association. And to do that, like Patrick has already said, we established 3 main criteria. We asked ourselves, which of your 47 county chambers most demonstrate, first of all, a leadership that is committed, a leadership that is strong? Secondly, we also asked ourselves, which of these county chambers have a demonstrable relationship with the county governments? And why is that important? Because, you see, we are working towards building an enabling business environment for the various businesses that you represent. And for that to work, one thing that is very important is a good relationship with the county governments. So that was a criteria. Thirdly, we also wanted to, given that we're in Kenya, we needed a national spread. Therefore, we could not have them all in Western. So we sought to sort of spread around. But also because we were dealing with only 3 centers of excellence, it was a hard task, as Patrick had previously mentioned. So some people have asked me, what's this partnership about? You know, I've asked, how many dollars are you giving us? How much money, you know? And there's a preoccupation with money that we all have. But this partnership has got 3 components. The first component is training. We will be taking the counties that are participating in this program through various trainings. And in fact, we are hitting the ground running with this, because already after this first session, we'll have a first training on sustainability. Then later on in the week, we will have a training on communication and advocacy out in Manzoni. So that's the first component of this. Secondly, after we've done the training, you and I know that people forget training most times as soon as they've walked out of the room. By the time they end up back in the organizations, only 20% is retained. So what we've decided to do is also have technical assistance. And really the technical assistance is to help handhold these chambers in implementing the training. Thirdly, and this is the part people like hearing the most, we will give some limited financial assistance. And this limited financial assistance will go towards helping these county chambers meet some of the overhead costs. Because as you know, there's a study that was done, funded by UNDP, and it identified overheads as one of the biggest challenges that the county chambers have. And we are guided by a Chinese proverb: give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. What we want to try and do is feed the county chambers for a lifetime, and also help them not become dependent on us as donors, because we are here today and tomorrow we are not. But at the end of the day, you want to ask, so what's the vision at the end of the day? How will success look like? Firstly, we want to have county chambers that have got strong institutions. We've been talking about, again, institutions in Kenya. So we want to have county chambers that have got strong governance structures, strong boards, and also strong secretariats. Secretariats that are not run by boards, because secretariats are meant to run independently. Secretariats that where we have separation of powers between county, the boards, and the secretariat. Secondly, we want the secretariats to be effective and independent, because then they will be able to fulfill their mandate on a day-to-day basis. Thirdly, we want these counties to mirror well-established membership services. And the membership services would range from training to advocacy, and the range goes on. So we want these counties to serve their members and also provide services both for their members and the business community at large. Fourthly, we want this, and you guys are business people, we want these county chambers to be financially sustainable. And what do we mean by that? Again, speaking to the business minds in the room, we want them to have diversified income streams so that they're not always looking to the national chamber, but they can run independent of the national chamber. And finally, ultimately, we want them to form a strong collective voice for the businesses at the county level. I really noticed how strong collective voices were important for us during the election. So if these counties at the county level have a strong collective voice, then the county chambers will be well represented. And we believe ultimately we will have a strong and an enabling environment for business.
This is a wonderful journey because it actually creates sustainability that we also desire. We have so many organizations. Unfortunately, they die once the chairman goes. So that is as far as SIPE is concerned and the sustainability cause is concerned. As you are aware, Kenya Chamber of Commerce and Industry is a Kenyan non-profit making organization of businesses and companies in Kenya with the intention to develop and further the interests of local businesses, which are here, and businesses that also deal abroad. Main activities, among others, is basically to safeguard business interests and sharing of experiences, contact with governments, civil societies, media, press, and organizations, including trade organizations as well. So we'd like to take this opportunity and thank SIPE most profusely for what SIPE has done and what SIPE is actually going to do for us. This win-win approach basically benefits policymakers and businesses, which, of course, as you know, are the backbone of any economy. Now, what does the Chamber do? The Chamber aims at strengthening county programs. And we do this by developing and promoting county chairs. So this county chamber, so this is very, very apt and very important to us. We develop these county chambers in terms of capacity building programs. We carry out baseline business surveys, facilitate development of business plans, facilitate county investment conferences, facilitate regional chamber open days, and of course, we promote public-private partnerships at county level as well. So the counties feed into the main chamber, and then the main chamber is able to deal in terms of policy. How does the national chair support the county? How does the national office support the county chambers? We do this through membership and recruitment, meaning that we are able, county chambers rely mostly on membership at the moment in order to make their funding. So this is excellent. As you know, if you don't give value, then people will not want to join. And if people don't join, it impacts negatively, meaning that that particular county, once again, is not able to function. So it becomes a negative, I would say, symbiotic relationship. If we are not able to recruit, we are not able to offer services. If we are not able to offer services, then more people do not want to join, and it keeps on. It's spiraled downwards. The other thing that the National Chamber assists the county chambers is as far as policy and advocacy. A collective voice always works better than one particular voice. I can just imagine my people in Lamu shouting, haki yetu, haki yetu. That may not get as much attention as if our national chair stands and talks about what is going on. So it's policy and advocacy. And of course, trade facilitation and promotion. We do this through trade promotions, whether it is the Kenyans that are going out, as well as the outside, the other international businesses that come into this country. Thank you, Saip, once again for being with us here and for assisting us, and we look forward to this partnership. Asanteni.
I'm going to talk about Vihiga and just highlight the activities that we do. We do have categorized into three: the influence we have on the county leadership, the engagements we have with the county government, and the value addition to our membership. Last year, we held what we call the Governors Roundtable. Not last year, the year before last year, which was sponsored by BAF, Business Advocacy Fund, with collaboration with Kenya Association of Manufacturers. We were able to call our governor and had a roundtable, and the BAF had actually taught us about advocacy. Initially, we were doing activism, carrying leaves, going in the streets, and saying haki yetu, like Fatma says. So we came up with what we call the county business agenda. We agreed that this is what the Vihiga business people want, and this is what the government must do for us. This year, during the electioneering period, BAF also gave us some funds, and we organized what we are calling engagements with the contestants. So we would call every gubernatorial contestant and look at his manifesto and ask questions that were business related. Obviously, the sitting governor refused to come because he thought they were going to be very hard questions. But we told him, no, we are not going to look at what you've been doing. We are asking, going forward, if you win, what are you going to do for us? We organized also what we call the gubernatorial debate. There was only one in the county, and it was organized by the Vihiga County Chamber of Commerce. And for that, we got a lot of mileage. So when the new governor came into office, he kept talking about chamber. And up to now, when you go to him, any investor who comes to Vihiga is told to go to the Chamber of Commerce and Industry before you come to my office. 2, engagement with the county government. We ensured that business-related bills were passed through the county assembly. And this was the finance bill, which had not been done, you won't believe it, the revenue administration bill, and the rating and evaluation bill. These were 3 bills sponsored by Vihiga Chamber of Commerce and Industry with partners that helped us. Vihiga Chamber is not very financially endowed, but I think we have a lot of ideas. And when you have ideas, I think there are always partners willing to come on board, and I believe that's why SIPE is here today. And then we are now developing a CIDP. Now, we have agreed with the governor that only items which find themselves into the CIDP will be funded. As chamber, we have put in a lot of proposals. 3, under the Public Finance Management Act, there's something called Budget and Economic Forum, which should include the county assembly, the county executive, and members of the public. We have ensured that we have 2 slots. Then the CEO we have here, Bana Habil, is a new CEO. The CEO we had then, because of the influence we have had on the county government, you wouldn't believe it, is now the CEC, Trade, Industrialization, and Tourism. So with now our CEO, now a CEC, you can see the influence we are going to have on the county government. And right now we are even having an engagement with them to raise revenue for the county and get a 5% as a revenue stream for the chamber. The final one, value addition to the general membership. Vihiga County, we started a SACCO, savings scheme for members. It had never been there. And I can tell you it's doing so well. We've been able to recruit a lot of members who are bringing in money and then taking loans 3 times your savings. Then there are advocacy issues. We have 56 model laws which came from the Kenya Law Reform Commission. We were able to get those laws, calibrate them to fit the Vihiga County, and then look for partners. And when you look for partners that way, you are always going to succeed. We have also been able to harmonize tariffs where we have been having double taxation. For example, the Music Copyright Society of Kenya, we have CAMP, we have PRISC. These guys can never step in Vihiga because we are on the board that determined that there can only be one single regime. All of them should have one tariff. And that tariff should be a percentage of the single business permit. Finally, on the way forward, we are having the Vihiga Annual Enterprise Award on 22nd of December, and I want to invite all of you, I'll be inviting the head office to come and just be able to see the engagements we are having with the business community and the county government.
I start by thanking SIPE for coming on board. As they say, birds of the same feathers flock together. My chair, outgoing chair, Mr. Mureo, and I restarted Chamber in 2013. We've moved from that time to date, where we are one among the 3 of the best counties in Kenya. We have a membership of over 600 members. We have business matchmaking. We have luncheons every one Thursday of a month, where we invite stakeholders to come and sell their products, and we invite our members. And there we get members to matchmake, we get members to introduce each other, to introduce their business. We have business awards, where we recognize our business community after each year. We have advocacy and lobbying, where we advocate, we lobby. Like now we are almost coming to an agreement with KRA, where about for you to be our member, you have to be tax compliant. So we are in that. We have local and international trade fairs. Our main strong membership as at now, and I think it's more stronger than even Nairobi, is the Women in Business. To date, we've worked with the national government through the gender ministry. We've given loans to our women in Mombasa and Coast to the tune of 368 million in the last two years. When it comes to the county government, we are in the forefront of preparation of the county finance bill. It is us who calls the business community. We come, we interrogate, and we give the final copy to our county government office. We also prepare and assist the county government to prepare their budget, where one of our board members sits in that committee in the county. We sit also, 2 of our board members sit in the liquor licenses committee of the county. Youth empowerment, we also have a board member, so that anything in the county, we sit in all these. We get requests from the governor for our board members to sit in, that we call recognition. We have a chamber magazine, which we give every 3 months. In that chamber magazine, we advertise what our members are doing. We tell our members what is supposed to be done. It's like an enlightenment of what comes after 3 months. We are doing after 3 months. We take them to expos outside the country. We also get visitors, like last month, but one, we had the Iranians. And we are in the process. They want to open a state-of-art medical center for women in Mombasa. We have a guide membership, where about it's like a directory. We give it every month or 2 months when need be, so that you need anything, you get it through that guideship. We have the Mombasa business agenda, which the Mombasa County is using now. We in Mombasa are the ones who prepared and handed it over to him when he was inaugurated in 2013. He has made a similar request now for us to make another one for his 2nd term. Last year, we were tasked with the function of inviting business community to go and meet with the president. And those things have really given us visibility.
Nairobi's contribution to the Kenya economy cannot be overstated. A vast majority of employers are here, and it is no wonder half of the city's population constitute of the youth. And I am very excited, and it is very humbling that SIPE, you're here to empower the youth and to support the young women, and of course to support us move ahead. We at the Chamber are cognizant of the critical role of our members play in yielding this productivity, despite the many challenges which, if resolved, would mean our contribution to the GDP will shoot past the current 60%. Let me speak about what we have done since the Nairobi Chamber was reconstituted by a clearer voice of the business community. We have created critical linkages between the county and enterprise through which we are rigorously seeking to improve the business environment. The licensing environment is now significantly simpler after collapsing the requisite permits for various business forums, over 20 to just 1 or 2. It is part of the review of the county laws that the chamber is advocating for through the several structured agreements and engagements through the governor's office. Now, the bylaws that they are using today, they were effected in 1960s. You can imagine what in 1960s was, how it was, and what it is now. So these are the kind of things that we want to review together with them. We are in agreement that the county needs to provide land for the development of markets for our small-scale traders who have encroached into the city in pursuant of customers. I appreciate the challenge posted by this class of traders, also referred to as hawkers, since they tend to clash with our other members in competition for space. Again, those are people we are looking at in how we can assist them. A long-term solution for this problem would be a market within the city, in the same way that other cities have done, putting up a huge building that accommodates thousands. We have seen that in China, we have seen that in America, and everywhere. Private sector lenders could look at this as an opportunity to fund the construction of this market, considering that it is a huge riskless opportunity as the loan could be guaranteed by the county themselves. In the short term, though, our thinking at the chamber is setting aside specific streets or spaces on specific days for small-scale traders and follow that the strict enforcement to ensure compliance. Special focus has been on women who make up the bigger proportion of informal traders. Already, there's a program run from the office of Her Excellency Rachel Ruto, and our able CEO is in that communication and negotiation to see how that is going to be done. This special initiative seeks to improve financial inclusion among the women, and Chamber is a strategic partner. Several banks have rolled out initiatives that also target the SMEs, which make up the majority of our membership. For example, Equity Bank, for instance, ran a program to train and support 1.5 million SMEs countrywide over 3 years. Among the beneficiaries are our own members. We have engagements again with Gulf Bank. Gulf African Bank has a similar product which targets the SMEs through loans and, more importantly, mentorship programs and business advisory. In fact, I think in the next 2 or 3 days, we should be signing an MOU with Gulf Bank. We have Cooperative Bank through their Cooperative Foundation is engaging the SMEs, including the public transport sector, through formation of cooperatives, where the businesses can access loans and savings with the backing of each other. Now, we have one of our vibrant companies known as 7 Seas Technologies, where they have created products that enable traders to find the right employees. So that, again, we are partnering with them in that area. Now, lastly, we have recently entered into a partnership with the Dubai Chamber of Commerce, and I'm happy to announce to you that a few months ago, we actually signed an MOU through the national office, Kiprono Kitoni, and since that time, it is exciting to tell you that they have opened a regional office, which is based here in Kenya, so that they can take care of the trade business. And now the Dubai Chamber, of course, of Commerce, has joined in our CSR program. The chamber will help us build capacity for our youth and the SMEs. Now let me turn to our project futures with USIP on board. We hope to improve the services offered to our members, specifically the SMEs, through the capacity building. Specifically, it is in our interest to educate our members on differentiating themselves and their product offering. The chamber expects to strengthen the role of business in the management of counties, again, connectivity. You can help us learn international best practices in our approach to doing business. And I think that is why we are here. We could have a better organization in having every business on board and speaking even clearer for our members.
You've heard a little bit about the program. It has been very fascinating to listen, and thank you, chairs, for your presentations, because I think what we're hearing is why these chambers exist. They serve a need. They serve a purpose. And that's very, very important and very critical. So we're really interested in two things: economic freedom and economic opportunity. That all people, all business people, all citizens have that opportunity, and that is actually a democratic value. Okay, so that's one aspect of. We actually have two parents. We have the National Endowment for Democracy, and we are part of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. So in terms of this partnership, they want to begin to develop a partnership to help American companies do business with Kenyan companies. And as we well know, chambers are at the forefront of facilitating those types of commercial relationships. But it's not just about that. It's about the fact that the chambers and the role you play in working with government through collective action and improving the environment for businesses here also improve the environment for foreign, whether they be from the United States or elsewhere, investors to potentially come to Kenya to take a look at your markets, for partnerships, for people who want to buy Kenyan products, for people who want to supply products to Kenya, Kenyan businesses. So our purpose and the intent of this program is essentially to go back on, and you've all touched upon it in terms of your speeches, what is the functional role of a chamber? And it's really to advocate for economic reform through collective action, engage with governments in terms of removing regulations, bringing down barriers to business, but at the same time doing this responsibly. We're also talking about what your role is. You're here to defend business interests. Okay? You're here to defend the entrepreneurs that might not be part of the chamber yet, but you're here not only to serve your members, but all businesses in Kenya as leading associations. You're here to do what? To provide support for economic growth and development. You're also here to take a position and at times tell maybe intrusive governments to back off, that the private sector can deal with trying to find solutions to specific problems. And so what we are doing is taking a strategic and making a strategic investment in your future and to partner, truly partner with you in terms of trying to create that idealistic world where the chambers across Kenya are all centers of excellence. So thank you.
Sign here. This is now the instruction. Huh? Then you would sign here. Then the CEO would confirm here. Then the country representative would sign here. Then the national chair representative would lead now you as Laz and yourself as you exchange that. Then we take a photo.